guys, Heather here from Tye-Dyed Iguana, and today we're going to talk about something that goes on around this time, about this time every single year here at Tye-Dyed Iguana, and that is brumation. The days are getting shorter, the days are getting colder and chillier, so yeah, some of our animals are starting to slow down. Some are starting to hide more during the day that usually don't. And yeah, it's about the time of the season where you're going to start seeing your animals maybe start to slow down their appetite, their eating, their activity, and everything. So yeah, we're going to brush up a little bit on the process of brumation and talk about maybe what causes them to go into brumation and what to expect as far as activity goes. Now, this tank might look familiar to you. Last year we also did a video on brumation, and the same bearded dragon is going into brumation this year. We're going to talk about lizards first. We're going to talk about what you can expect your lizards to kind of do during brumation. It happens to a lot of the desert species of lizards. Some of your tropical species, they go into a little bit of a brumation. So yeah, you can see here, she is hiding in her little shelter. So this is where she likes to sleep each year for her brumation. Now your animal may just find a cold spot like in the on the cool side of the cage to sleep, but most of the time if you've got a shelter like this, they'll choose that to sleep in. Now, before we talk about the specific things to look out for, we're going to talk about why brumation happens. Even though your tank may be kept at a constant temperature like it is throughout the year, it could be a nice hot spot of 100 for these guys, 95 or whatever, but some of them still decide to go into brumation no matter how warm it is in the cage. And that's because they use other things to kind of cue into the fact that it's that time of the season. They can sense the barometric pressure that changes. They can sense the shortening of the days. So yeah, these guys, they can sense stuff like they can sense the cooler air outside, even though they're inside. They can tell. It's just their instinct to do this every year. Some of them don't do it, others do, and it's perfectly fine either way. Some, it doesn't make any difference. They just continue going on like normal. But one thing you want to make sure, you always make sure that you give them fresh water every day. You gotta make sure that they have the ability to access water during brumation. Some of them will sleep for long periods of time, and then some will actually come out of brumation for like maybe a week or so and then go back in. It varies by the individual lizard, but they always want to make sure that they have a way to keep themselves hydrated during this time. And you can also offer them food every so often, but don't keep a lot of food in there like crickets and stuff. Don't keep a lot of crickets in there throughout the time, otherwise they could pick on your bearded dragon and hurt them. So yeah, you just gotta kind of judge it, and you can offer them food every now and then. If they don't want to eat it, you can take it out. But yeah, she is very sleepy. She's the kind of beardie that she sleeps most of the time, and then very rarely she'll come out, maybe bask herself a little bit, bask in under her light a little bit, may get a drink, and then she'll go back in. So yeah, with the decreased eating, you'll notice that they won't poop as much. She can go like 1-2 weeks and then poop. And then, yeah, because she'll eat a little bit every now and then, and yeah, she'll have something to poop out. But yours, they may just go into the deep, deep sleep of brumation and not have to get out and poop or eat at all. So, yeah, it really varies by the lizard. So here's another one of our females that has decided to go into brumation. Yeah, you can see her face in there. She's pretty darn tired. Now, one cool thing you may not realize about brumation is it actually is proven to increase the ovulation in females and the sperm production in males once spring arrives. It actually is good for their reproductive cycle. We've noticed that our females, once they brumate during the fall and winter and they come out of brumation in early spring, they are ready to breed, and they actually produce lots of clutches and lots of healthy clutches. Now you can see, like last year, ththese guys up here, it doesn't look like they're going to brumate this year. they're active, having fun, eating, all that good stuff. So yeah, it just depends on the individual lizard. And it's not just our bearded dragons that go through this. We got all sorts of lizards that go through it. We got our Sally, the Rankin's dragon. She'll go through a brumation every year. She's hanging out on the cool side of her cage, and that just kind of tells us that she is just trying to avoid the heat, and she's trying to kind of put herself into a brumation. So, yep, that's another way. Alright, so inside here you'll see Jack. He is sleeping. Well, he's kind of awake. He's got his eyes open, but yeah, he's slowing down his eating and everything, and he's always curled up underneath his hide during the fall and winter season for brumating. So, yeah, he does this every year. I think this is his 3rd year with us. So, yeah, he's getting ready as well. Alright, so the last thing we'll talk about is brumation and snakes. I found it to happen a lot more with snakes usually than with lizards, as far as how often they go through brumation, especially ball pythons, who are pretty notorious for it. They'll usually stop eating during the later parts of fall, early winter, and everything. What happens is their metabolism slows down, heart rate, respiration, all that stuff, and they won't eat for possibly a few months. So in some cases, like me personally, my pet snakes, my pet ball pythons, they usually go 6 to 7 months without eating, which is a pretty long time. So it does happen. So, yep, but it's okay. They slow down. Oh my goodness, popcorn! What a yawn. So I don't know if these guys have slowed down their eating yet or not, but they may just slow down their eating. With snakes, they may hide. If they have little hides to hide in, they might just sleep in those hides all fall and winter. And they'll definitely slow down and sleep more. And some of the ones that burrow, they may just burrow under the substrate and not want to come out. So yeah, perfectly fine. Just make sure that you keep water with them so that they can keep themselves hydrated. Most important thing. And yeah, that's about it when it comes to snakes. And I think the same thing goes for them about the brumation, about how the colder weather, cooler temperatures actually stimulate them to, the males anyway, I know for sure, that stimulates them to get into the breeding mode, so, yep. So yeah, we just wanted to brush up a little bit on brumation this time of year. It's always a good thing to remind people. It's something you can look out for. It's perfectly normal. You don't have to panic or anything if your animal just slows down eating in the fall and winter season. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.